taking off like a Boeing. If the volume spikes, then it's time to trade. Mighty 90 setting up, it's time to get paid. Navigation trading on the mic, time to get focused. We don't need any indicator, hocus pocus. It's all about the price, just watch it move. Manage your risks so you don't lose. First hour of trading is all we need. Focus on the patience and forget about greed.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's day trading live stream. Today is Thursday, February 26th. I thought it was Wednesday for a second. The VIX is down about 2%, currently at 17.60. S&P pretty flat, up 3 points. NASDAQ down 22. Russell up 6. Dow up 160. So all pretty muted. As far as the overnight gaps, gold is down 1%. Silver is down 4.7. Notes and bonds a little bit green. 10-year yield a little bit red. Oil's down 2%. Natural gas down 2%. All the grains are a little bit green, under 0.5%. Euro and the pound are pretty flat. Bitcoin down 1.5%. NVIDIA earnings last night had a little pop. Faded back into the red and then bounced back into the green by a little bit. As far as other big movers, Watson was the kiss of death on Celsius, so it's up 16%. IONQ also had earnings. It's up 15%. So did Snowflake. It's up 4%. Some of the other quantum names are up. Microsoft is up 1%. On the red side, Zoom had earnings. It's down 5%. And everything else, just a little in between. Got a little bit of a dip coming in here just into the open. S&P just came back down to unchanged. Opening bell here in a little over a minute. No 1DTE today because we've got the VIX contraction overnight. No calendars today. So we'll just be jumping straight in to good old directional day trades. Hopefully we can get some good action. We finally got NVIDIA behind us. Feels like that NVIDIA earnings was lingering for months. I guess it was 3 months. My screen is not clear. Okay. Good to go now. All right, bell is rung. Looks like the expected range in SPX today, a little over 38. According to TOS, the VIX calculation will probably be closer to 40. AVGO dipping, all the chips pushing down out of the gate. S&P, NASDAQ dropping, Russell into the red. Tesla had a little bounce and it got rejected. Nvidia through yesterday's lows down about 1%. My Nvidia double calendar, it's got a little bit of profit, but yeah, it's not really worth it. It's up $25 on a 2-lot. Oh, nice, Moel. Yeah, I figured that CRM one would have worked. Based on the move, or lack of, I should say. Yeah, I was asking yesterday because I just had it modeled out, so I couldn't remember where you got in. I had it marked at like 405, but I think you said 425. But either way, yeah, that's nice. Nice. Yeah, the 2 days getting crushed, and then the longer dated holding their bid nicely. And without price moving too much, it's perfect. You're on the 190s, right? Yeah. Nvidia down 2% now. A little pop and fade. The old pop and fade kicking in. Google through yesterday's lows. Tesla through yesterday's lows. SMH coming down. I am going to load up some puts on Tesla. One DTEs across the board today. If I trade Tesla, I would do the 410s. If you trade Nvidia, keep in mind there's still some earnings premium in there. So if you go to trade puts, for example, and it bounces a little bit, those are going to lose value pretty quickly, just FYI. You can still trade it, but just keep that in mind. The theta decay is going to be a little bit more aggressive because there's still some of that risk premium built in. SMH getting crushed. All the chips coming down. Banks are popping. All three, JP Morgan, Goldman, Bank of America, all up about 1.5%. Circle, another push higher, up 4.5% after being up 30 plus yesterday after earnings. And after I said 4.5%, now it's at 5.5%. So crypto's bouncing, Bitcoin bouncing, S&P, and NASDAQ still staying weak. NASDAQ pushing down to the overnight lows. PLTR was holding green. Now it's down into the red. Oh, look at IWM. Bucking the trend again. IWM is just on its own little game here. I'm going to load up some 1 DTE IWM calls. I'd use the 267s. IWM's kind of been bumping its head against this level right here that it's at over the last week or so. Jeez. Just popping. Little pause in the S&P and NASDAQ, and IWM just ripped. Nvidia still falling. Tesla still staying weak. Google weak. Nvidia's down 3% now. Apple rejected previous day high. Meta is staying strong. It keeps trying to go green, and it's not participating in this flush at all. MU just popped. Just went green again. I'm going to load up some meta calls. I would use the 660s. All right, S&P and NASDAQ trying to bounce. NASDAQ flushed overnight lows, trying to get back above. Russell still staying strong. AMD now bouncing. Meta extending higher. Meta flying. I mean, it's only up 0.5%, but it started well red. MU getting rejected now. Big volume bar. MU kind of pulled back. Bitcoin reversed. PLTR pushing through highs. Hood up to previous day high. I'm going to load up some calls in Hood. 1 DTE, 79 calls. S&P, new lows. Russell rejecting a little bit now. Tesla staying weak. Nvidia staying weak. Microsoft trying to bounce. Netflix holding up. Another day with all different direction going on here. Meta strong. I would need a pullback in Meta here, but same with Hood. S&P continuing lower. NASDAQ trying to hold above lows. Same filter I always use on 1DTE, Dark Vendor, just the VIX overnight contraction. PLTR pushing up to previous day high. Microsoft held previous day high. It's trying to get back up to highs. Netflix is bouncing. Meta on a mission. Another drop in S&P. I'm watching Hood as well. It's right at previous day high. S&P just bleeding. Russell now, pretty decent rejection. NASDAQ now might be coming back down to lows. Tesla new lows. Robinhood big rejection. Meta still holding strong. PLTR still holding pretty strong. I'm going to load up some PLTR 137 calls just to have those ready in case. But this market looks pretty weak right now. I don't have any puts loaded up. Oh yeah, I do Tesla, but Tesla just ticked lows and then popped back up. Circle still strong, 6.5% higher. I saw the VIX was down and then my bot didn't fire, so I assumed it stayed. But yeah, you're right, VIX did end up green. I don't know. I'll have to check later about why my bot didn't fire, but I'll just leave it for now. All right, Tesla popped back up to previous day low. Robinhood big rejection. Nvidia new lows, S&P new lows, Russell all the way back down almost to lows. Banks pulling back a little bit. Coinbase or Bitcoin through lows. PLTR and Meta holding and Circle. PLTR making a move up to previous day high. If PLTR starts to push above previous day high, I'm going to take the 137 calls. Getting in PLTR. Filled at $1.94. Had a little momentum pushing up through previous day high. Kind of pulled back here, but let's see if it keeps any momentum going. I'll put my first profit target at 225. It's pushing. S&P, NASDAQ, still near lows, but trying to bounce. Bitcoin flushing. Meta still holding. Circle, new highs, up 7.5%. Every time I look at Circle, it's up another percent. NVIDIA making new lows. Chips definitely driving this market lower. SMH is down almost 2.5%. PLTR dipping again. NVIDIA down 3.5%. PLTR did not hold here. It's going to need to pop back up for me. Looked like it had some momentum. It may want to rip. Still might. But I'm going to need to cut it if it doesn't pop back up, especially in a weak market here. Chips be bloody. NVIDIA bringing them down. Meta trying to creep back up to its high of day. Meta ticked a new high. Microsoft trying to get up to highs of day. Netflix staying strong. Let's see if PLTR can pop back up above previous day high here. S&P a little bounce, NASDAQ a little bounce, Russell back in the green. Bitcoin a little pause. AVGO is down 4%. MSTR through lows.
Order filled. Order partially filled.
All right, PLTR's dipping. I may have to cut here. Tesla kind of rejecting previous day low, keeps trying to get above it and push back down. S&P's a little bounce, getting pushed back down. NASDAQ new lows. PLTR's holding pretty well. Would have liked to hit that first profit target on that initial push. NVIDIA heading back towards lows. All right, watching PLTR to cut. All right, I'm going to cut. Filled at 143. Kind of waiting for what I thought we may get a bounce in the indices after S&P kind of flushed those overnight lows. PLTR looked like it had some Momo going, but fizzled out on me. Meta still holding. Netflix still pushing. I will keep an eye on PLTR if it does get aggressive and starts to reclaim. Also watching Meta. Also watching Tesla puts here. It's kind of chopping around previous day low. PLTR is starting to creep back up. Just kind of choppy though. All right, I'm going to get back in PLTR. Filled at 189. Kind of squeezed me out, but now it's popping again. $225 is my first profit target. All right, PLTR breaking highs of day. Need another little push to hit it. There we go, filled at 225. PLTR thought it could get me. It did flush. It did get me though on that little flush out. He got me yesterday. Squeezed me out for a scratch before it took off. Wasn't going to do it again today, Watson. Not today, son. Not today. Not in the mood. Yeah, Microsoft pushing. Meta looks like it's about to rip again. I'll take some more PLTR off at 260. S&P, NASDAQ. Russell just flushed new lows. Netflix strong. Big banks are just kind of chopping. Had a big push initially. Circle still strong. Coin making a move higher. Bitcoin bounced. Hood popping back up to previous day high. Need a little bit more push in PLTR. Yeah, chips are just bloody. SMH is down over 3%. Watson, I wanted to ask you, why do you watch Soxal as opposed to SMH? Is that more liquid? Moves more? Oh, that's 3x. That's a 3x ETF. That's why it moves more. Yeah. I gotcha. I gotcha. I thought you were just looking at it as a proxy for semiconductors, whereas I always look at SMH. All right. PLTR just kind of holding. Need another push through highs to hit my profit target. I'm watching Hood as well. It kind of popped back up to previous day high. If it starts to push through, I'm going to get in Hood. 79 calls in Hood. Chips just a bleeding. S&P, NASDAQ down to previous day low now. All right, PLTR is starting to dip. I want to see it bounce here, otherwise I'll cut my runners. Nvidia new lows. All right, watching my PLTR here. It's back to where I got in on these remaining contracts. So I don't want to give too much out here if this weakness continues. But I want to give it a chance too, because it's right back down to that previous day high level. S&P and NASDAQ just flushed that previous day low key level too, so don't want to cut out too quick because we could see a bounce here. Tesla still chopping near previous day low. It did push above there for a while. Come on, PLTR. Fight off the weakness, baby. Fight it off. You don't need to be one of those weak haters. Hold strong. Netflix and Meta now pulling back. Same with Microsoft. All right. PLTR is kind of dipping here, watching it. Tesla, little bounce off previous day low. Tesla kind of looks like it got its weakness out of its system. Like it may want to go somewhere here. If the market bounces. If the market doesn't stay super weak. All right, so Hood tested the previous day high, then it came down and retested the previous day close. It's starting to bounce again. I'm still watching Hood for a potential push above previous day high here. In Hood, I'm trading the 79 calls. I want to see kind of a little bit of an impulsive move back above there. PLTR is still just at that previous day high level, watching it to potentially cut. Need it to bounce here. All right, watching Hood. Taking Hood. Filled at $1.12. Ooh, I don't like my fill. Don't really like my fill, but I'm in. See if Hood can push highs of day here. I'll put my first profit target in Hood at $1.35. PLTR still trying to hold. PLTR trying to bounce. S&P and NASDAQ trying to hold above previous day low. Need Hood to push through highs here. What's Bitcoin doing? Just kind of chopping.
Order cancelled.
I'm going to move my profit target in hood down
Order
to
partially
$1.30.
Order filled.
Let's try to get out of some right at highs. There's hood and PLTR on my screen now. Nice hold in PLTR. Let's see if it can make some new highs of day. S&P back down a little bit at previous day low. I was hoping we were going to get that little reclaim of previous day high and a big push through high of day and hood. Haven't gotten it yet. Obviously, the overall market's staying pretty weak, so we kind of need to see a bounce in the market for some of these names to start really taking off. Hood just kind of hovering at previous day high here. Did not continue its momentum. Not necessarily. Dark Avenger. NVIDIA still chopping near lows. PLTR still holding. S&P, NASDAQ still trying to hold above previous day low. Meta came down to previous day high. It's starting to bounce again. So Meta, if Meta wants to continue that strength, we may see move back up to highs of day here if the market can hold up. All right, PLTR just kind of starting to creep back up. Yeah, but just because something's down doesn't mean I won't go long either. Plus, hood's if you're comparing hood to Bitcoin, hood is definitely showing that relative strength. AVGO new lows down over 5%. SMH new lows down over 3.5%. QQQ new lows. All right, hood dipping below previous day high a little bit, so watching that. Now PLTR dipping. A lot of weakness coming in. NVIDIA new lows. Tesla back below previous day low. All right, watching both PLTR and hood for a potential cut here.
Order partially filled. Order filled.
Was hoping that may have been the bottom for a minute, but NVIDIA down 4%. Hood trying to bounce back up a little bit. All right, PLTR is kind of dipping.
Order filled.
Got about a minute left on this 5-minute bar. Let's see if PLTR is going to bounce. If not, I'll cut it. Chips trying to pull everything down with it.
Order filled.
Tesla back below previous day low. Woo! S&P, NASDAQ. NASDAQ down 1.2%. Russell heading back to lows. S&P extending lows. All right, PLTR, I'm going to cut my remaining after hitting the first profit target. Hood, I'm watching closely. Woo, getting bloody. All right, I'm going to cut out of hood for now. This is a little too weak. S&P, NASDAQ kind of look like it may want to flush previous day low and hold, but they were ready for another leg. They wanted another leg. All right, so now what I would do if I take anything else, which most likely I won't, but if I take anything else, it would be more of a reversal setup. I would want to see kind of a reversal setup in the indices come in, and then I would look for stocks with relative strength, like could be Hood, could be Meta, could be Tesla getting dirty now. Tezzy getting dirty. Yeah, this drop is good for the old time machines, isn't it, Lando? So you guys should have gotten an email about the new DC time machine course that we're doing March 3rd. You should have got that last night. It's for pro members. So if you're just a day trading member, you would need to be a pro to get access. But essentially, we're going to be teaching about how to transform double calendars into risk-free iron condors. Here's an example of what I have expiring today. This is 3 different positions. These were double calendars that I opened either last week or this week and then transformed into risk-free iron condors. So if we close below today, if we expire below 68.90 and above 68.25, call it, I'll be plus 61.45 on those 3. Lando will be posting the registration in the Transformer chat today as well. So if you didn't get the email, you should. But maybe Anil, email support@navigationtrading.com. Make sure Lando gets you on the pro list. You should be on there. S&P, NASDAQ continuing to flush. VIXY 20, here we come. SPX crushing through the downside expected move.
Order filled.
Not a single green bar, or in my case, hollow bar on SPY this morning. Look at that volume too in S&P. Dirty.
Order filled.
Dirty, dirty, dirty. Let's see if I've got any value in my BIC puts that are getting stopped here. There's some worth $2.50. That's good.
Order filled.
All right, I'm going to wrap the stream here. Like I said, I will be looking for a potential reversal. If I'm going to take anything, it would have to happen here in the next 30 minutes. Just kind of looking across my boards just to see if there's... Yeah, PLTR just gave it all up, back down to lows. I mean, nothing could fight off this weakness. Meta almost down to lows. Netflix gave it up. Yes, not Microsoft all the way back down to lows. So not a lot showing any kind of relative strength here. Circle's still kind of holding up well. So yeah, I'll look for a reversal potentially in the indices and then see if there's anything showing relative strength on the bounce compared to the indices is what I would be doing. Otherwise, I'll just be done with my hood. I took a loss in PLTR, then got back in, hit one profit target in PLTR. It'd still be red overall, and then the loss on hood. So if nothing else, I will see you all in Power Hour. Cheers.